The Middle East, it's complicated. Like, really complicated. This region has been a focal point of human civilization for thousands of years, and with that comes a tangled web of history. Imagine a soap opera with more plot twists than a season of Game of Thrones, but instead of dragons, you have centuries of religious tension, political rivalry, and enough firepower to make Tony Montana blush. From bustling markets to intense political protests, the region is a melting pot of cultures and conflicts. Now throw Israel and Iran into the mix. These two nations are like the heavyweight champions of this ongoing saga. Two countries with a history longer than a CVS receipt, both convinced they're right, both with a lot to lose. Their ancient ruins tell stories of past glories and present-day tensions. They've been circling each other like wary boxers for decades, occasionally throwing jabs, but never quite going for the knockout punch. Each side is constantly on guard, ready to defend their stance. But lately, things have been heating up. Assassinations of Shuker and Haniye mean the stakes are higher than ever, and the consequences more dire. It's enough to make anyone nervous. The uncertainty and fear ripple through the streets, affecting everyday lives. And the rest of the world? We're all watching closely, aware that the impact of this conflict extends far beyond the region. We're all holding our breath, hoping this doesn't turn into the world's biggest dumpster fire. The global community is on edge, praying for a resolution. Because let's be real, nobody wins in a war. The human cost is too high and the scars too deep, except maybe the arms dealers, but they're depressing. They profit from the chaos, a grim reminder of the darker side of conflict. So, Iran's got a choice to make. It's a decision that could shape the future of the entire region. Go big or go home. The stakes couldn't be higher. Not really. More like, go big and risk a regional war, or find a way to respond without getting everyone nuked. It's a delicate balance of power and survival. Tough call. Option 1. The shock and awe approach. This means going all out. Think massive retaliation, hitting military targets in Israel, a show of force that can't be ignored. Problem is, that's like lighting a match in a fireworks factory. The consequences could be catastrophic. You're guaranteed a reaction, and it ain't gonna be pretty. Escalation is almost certain. Option 2, the calculated strike. A more measured response, a more surgical approach, targeting something symbolic, maybe a military outpost, to send a message without triggering World War III. It's about precision and impact. Riskier than doing nothing, but less likely to end in mushroom clouds. It's a gamble, but one that might just pay off in avoiding total disaster. Now some folks might think, why not just hit them where it hurts? Target civilians. Let's be clear, that's a terrible idea. Morally reprehensible, obviously, but also strategically stupid. Firstly, it's a war crime. Full stop. Secondly, it turns the world against you faster than you can say international sanctions. You become the bad guy, even if you think you're the good guy. And nobody wants to be friends with the guy who bombs civilians. Trust me on that one. Section 4. Deciphering Iran's likely response. So, what's Iran gonna do? Honestly, your guess is as good as mine. But if I had to bet my limited edition Daily Show bobblehead collection on it, I'd say they'll opt for a measured response. Why? Because Iran's leaders aren't stupid. They know a full-on war would be disastrous for everyone, especially them. They're more likely to play the long game. Think cyber attacks, maybe some proxy warfare through groups like Hezbollah. Painful, yes, but not the apocalypse, hopefully. Section 5, Economic and Political Fallout, a no-win situation. Here's the thing about conflict. Everybody loses. Sure, there might be a winner on paper, but at what cost? Economies tank, people suffer, and the only ones who come out ahead are the ones selling the weapons. For Israel, constant conflict means living with a target on your back. For Iran, it means sanctions, isolation, and a whole lot of internal pressure. Neither country can really afford another war, but sometimes pride and politics make you do dumb things. Section 6. The high stakes of miscalculation, a call for restraint. In today's volatile world, the stakes have never been higher. The situation's tense, no doubt. One wrong move, one miscalculation, and things could spiral out of control faster than a Kardashian wedding. The consequences could be catastrophic, affecting millions of lives. That's why everyone needs to chill. Seriously, we need to take a collective step back. Like, seriously, take a deep breath, find your center, and step away from the launch button. Diplomacy might be boring, but it's a hell of a lot better than war. Peaceful dialogue and negotiations are the only way forward. So, to the leaders of Israel and Iran, I say this. Put down the metaphorical boxing gloves, it's time to embrace diplomacy. And pick up the phone, talk it out, find a solution. Engage in meaningful conversations. Because the only thing worse than living with an enemy is living through a war you can't win. Let's choose peace over conflict, dialogue over destruction.